Hey everyone, I just wanted to show you guys the sheer amount of, I guess, feedback that we collect nearly every day, um, and how seriously we take customer feedback. Because actually, like earlier last year, I was someone really like early to mid last year, I was someone who really always just cared about just like what I thought and my own thoughts. And then I was like quickly humbled because I realized that I'm not the smartest. And I'm definitely not as smart as like hundreds of other wholesalers that do this business every day, even though I was a wholesaler. But I do have an advantage because I'm able to essentially bring my own, experiences working with wholesalers and my own wholesale company experience, and be able to, challenge opinions, to be able to, kind of have more confidence in some feedback and not just blindly accept everything. So I think that gives me definitely a competitive advantage, and then experience, on the software side, and just a holistic view about everything. And in this video, I just wanted to show you guys how much feedback we actually do collect here at Dispo Genius. So this is just today, like this is still today, and we essentially we come up with ideas based on users' issues and what users are feeling. And from there, I go out and design something, and then I share the design with the customers. And the customers are like, "Hey, I like this. I don't like this. Oh, this is perfect. This would be amazing if it was implemented." And then I kind of tweak the design a little more. And then from there, pass it off to our amazing designer, Faraz Mir. He's been super, super amazing in creating these beautiful designs that are not only beautiful, but also really functional and also give you a sense of emotion, which we're trying to work towards. I just want to show you guys the history of everything. So as you can see, kind of keep going, keep going, keep going. You can see the top here, the dates. January 22nd. I'm just going to go all the way to the first ever note. It's crazy how much our software has changed since then. So this channel started July 1st of last year. So pretty long ago. So I'm just going to scroll through here, and you can see the top dates. So it's nearly every single day, working pretty much 7 days a week. I usually try not to bother people on the weekends, but I can't help myself sometimes. But as you can see here, nearly pretty much every day that we send feedback through. I send them videos. I send screenshots of conversations with customers. We like to have direct iMessage chats, WhatsApp chats, Facebook Messenger chats, Discord chats, Slack chats with our customers. And a lot of you may think that is unscalable. Yes, it is. Of course, it's not, but we wouldn't have gotten the feedback we've gotten if we didn't do it that way, where we made it really easy for the customer to provide us feedback. And we consistently ask people for feedback. So you can see that was like, months and months and months of just every day talking to customers and sharing our designs and our, you know, and we brainstorm all the time. We debate on stuff, and someone will say one thing, and then the other person will say another thing, and it could be because this wholesale company has these market specific rules, this company doesn't, and then we kind of try to find the middle ground and where how do we serve all of these people with one really beautiful, really functional design of a product, and that's how we've been improving. And I think a lot of companies don't do that, where they actually listen to customers. I think the big problem with companies nowadays are it's like this game of politics. They kind of go and scale, and the problem with scaling is that there is an ultimate uh, downside to scaling. Scaling is not all just pros. There's a lot of like downsides to scale. There's pros and cons to really everything. Like there's even cons with what I'm doing now, but I think the pros in this scenario outweigh all of the cons. And the cons are, well, it takes a lot of time away from me doing other things. But the benefit of this is I get really close to customers. I get to really get close with their problems, and I almost act like an in-house developer. So I think the problem nowadays with bigger companies is that there's this like layers and layers of bureaucracy. And what bureaucracy is like if I wanted to do something right in a company, let's say you're a company, huge big Dispo company, or just a software company in general. Um, if you had an idea, you would have to run it by your manager, and then your manager would have to run it by the CEO, and then the CEO would think about it, and then now the CEO is like, they played telephone, and now the CEO, the CEO is like so far away from everyday day to day tasks because the CEO has been taught to get out of the details and essentially not work with the frontline people. I think that's ridiculous. I think that's like a really stupid way to 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 progress in business. Um, I think I think there's some merit, some of those practices, to delegate stuff, because that's like you should definitely delegate at some point. But as a CEO, as a founder, especially as a founder, you should always be in the details in your business, like in everything. You want to understand everything. And I'm not saying you have to be like the developer for everything or you're actually doing the actions, but you should at least understand like the point of roles, and you should understand like the essence of what someone is doing in the company. Um, if not, you kind of essentially have this highly ineffective organization. In our organization, like I'm involved in everything. I mean, like I want to understand everything. I'm not building everything, but I understand a lot of it. And as I feel like as a founder, you have to be able to essentially say, if everything, went away today, I would know how to rebuild it back. Like, you don't, like, you can lose it all and you would know exactly how to build it back. Like, everything top to bottom. And yeah, that's really the problem with companies like that with high amounts of bureaucracy. It's usually when companies scale and then they start delegating, they have like layers of management. Uh, you know, like essentially like everything gets diluted. Um, and at the end of the day, uh, you know, nothing else matters if the customer's not happy. Um, so if the customer's happy, it essentially creates a multiplier effect on everything else in the business. Everything else in the business gets like infinitely easier if the customer's happy. The problem is companies will try to scale and their customers are like kind of happy, but they're not really happy. And there's a huge difference with that. And the difference is large amounts of work. Like exponentially larger amounts of work to be able to go from a customer kind of liking your software or kind of liking your product service to like absolutely like raving about your product and service. I mean, the amount of work to go, like, for example, like we're talking about Olympic race, like the difference between someone who gets in first place and someone who gets in second place might not be a lot. It might be a couple seconds in technical terms, like how they won a race. It might be milliseconds even. But the amount of more training the guy who won in the first place, this is technically speaking, is usually extraordinarily different from the guy who was in second place. Maybe that guy that won first place was putting like 2 hours more a day or 2 hours more in recovery and stuff and da 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 da. Like it just spent a lot more time just to make sure to get those incremental differences, so that he can get to first place or he or she can get first place. So I don't know, it kind of turned into a ranting video, but yeah, that's how much we care about customers and how serious we take customer feedback. And I believe if we always stay close to customers and we always listen to their problems and we always rapidly build innovative, effective, beautiful solutions that serve their problems perfectly, it's impossible for us to lose, essentially. As long as we keep doing this for longer than anyone else, we will win. And as long as we never disconnect, we will win. Essentially, if you're going in the water and you disconnect from your oxygen tank, eventually you're going to lose. Like eventually you're going to like drown and die. But if you always stay connected to your oxygen tank, then you will never lose. You'll never not lose that oxygen. So yeah, that is kind of the I guess the video I want to make over how seriously we take customer feedback.